Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, our journey to self realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and to enjoy daily satsang with us. We are currently exploring the book Yoga Essays for Self Improvement, a profound book indeed, um, authored by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So, we are currently on the introduction and getting some deeper insights about yoga. If the teachings of yoga were sincerely practiced by just a small minority, the world would change for the better. It does not take many great men to change the world. One Christ influenced the world tremendously, one Krishna, one Rama, one Hanuman. Imagine, however, if there were many Christs, many Krishnas, many Ramas. So, a Christ on every continent, or Krishna in every continent, or a Mahatma Gandhi, many Martin Luther Kings. Imagine that there were many Buddhas. This world would be most sublime. Further, it is important to understand that if the ideal of yogic culture were to dominate the world, it would not mean that everyone in the world would be realized. The world is always viewed as a process of evolution. According to yoga, however, an advanced culture allows every soul to have maximum opportunity for the unfoldment of his spiritual potential. Every opportunity should be provided, as our essential nature is joy and happiness. But that would happen only when the affairs of the world were controlled by people who have a spiritual conscience, people who are spiritually advanced. This is why we are seeing what we are seeing today in the world. People are morally and spiritually bankrupt. They do something else, say something else, mean something else. Uh, all these jealousy and fame, name, they have made this world a very stressful place, whereas in reality, it need not be so. It needs to be joyful, peaceful, happy, and we need Buddhas and Krishnas and Christs back in this world, more of them. Suppose educational systems were directed by people of spiritual insight who were philosophers, thinkers. Suppose presidents and political leaders were not simply business minded, but had an understanding that the world is one humanity. Suppose they were all eager to wipe out anger, greed, hunger, hatred from their own hearts and sought to discover their essential nature. This world would be a more harmonious and a better place. Suppose such ideal, lofty ideals were taught in schools, along with the art of handling frustration, controlling your moods, and arousing the hidden powers from within. How much better the world would be. Today, you see very successful attorneys and doctors and everybody, but they're all money centric. It all becomes a big lobbying effort, and very few souls are benefiting in reality. People who have a compassionate heart, everybody, there's a dog eat dog world, so to speak, and we need people full of love and compassion and understanding, because in the end, all you, unless you're peaceful at heart, you can't be comfortable. You first get, when you get angry, you first burn yourself, then you direct it to someone else. So this is why those people are always stressed out and don't laugh and are in pain. It's a disease actually. But yoga views them all as souls in progress, and anybody can benefit, anyone can change. So everybody is to be loved. That potential is out there. Keeping this ideal in view, Swamiji has presented essays that reveal many aspected implications on the practice of yoga in one's daily life. These are marvelous techniques for self improvement leading to self realization. May God bless you. May you be inspired by this beautiful statement from Swamiji. This was written back in February 27th, 1981. So this topic, as of today, we are in 2023, so about 40, what is it? 30, about almost 50 some years. And what we have done is this: you'll find these topics as important today, probably more important today than they ever were when Swamiji had written it back in 81. So let's talk about ethics, which has become the center of the world's attraction. Everybody, all these laws exist, but nobody follows them, and moral bankruptcy is at an all time high. So, in that light, let's study the ethics in the light of yoga. Ethics is the science of human conduct. It is based upon the fact that a human being is related to other human beings and therefore must conduct himself in a manner that promotes his good, as well as the good of others in society. Everybody should benefit, not just one person. This ethical conduct in life is referred to in Sanskrit as sadachar. Sadachar or dharma. Dharma is the ethical value in life. So, Sage Vyasa presents a succinct definition of dharma or righteous conduct, and adharma as unrighteous conduct. That is why we are known as Sanatana Dharma. Dharma meaning righteousness. Sanatan is timeless. So, timeless righteousness. What a beautiful, beautiful name. Doing good to others is the essence of righteousness, while injuring others or inflicting pain in others is the root of unrighteousness. The yogic view of ethics is based upon the philosophy of Vedanta, which asserts that the innermost self is the non dual reality behind all names and forms, that there is unity behind all apparent diversities. Ultimately, it all comes to one. Even though we may look different, different color types, skins, but we are all humans. We all behave the same way. We fall hungry the same way. We eat, we enjoy, we grieve. All those things are similar in all of us. So, also, every human being yearns to experience that unity, which is possible only through intuitive realization, unity with God, oneness. And that oneness can be experienced through self realization, which is what our mission is on the project that we are all on. However, in the absence of such realization, the mind becomes distracted by the pressure of the apparent multiplicity in objects and relationships. So we end up going through a lot of stress because we don't understand this fine art. Therefore, the urge to seek unity becomes refracted through the various desires for the pleasures of the senses. A human being is ever drawn on two sides: his inner being longing to be free from the pressures of multiplicity through the realization of oneness, and his outer being striving for the transient goals in order to find happiness and security in the moral plane. So it's as if you are being split apart on two sides. His inner movement is the Dharmakshetra. Dharmakshetra is the battle of righteousness, the battleground. Kshetra is the ground, as mentioned in the Gita, while his outer movement is Kurukshetra, the external battlefield of life. The scripture further asserts, Yato dharma tato jaya. Wherever there is dharma, there is victory. Wherever there is righteousness, there has to be victory. If one were to pursue the path of dharma, in spite of the turbulent waters of the externalizing demand of the senses, one would attain victory in the form of self realization. Furthermore, dharma has also been defined at that which leads to Abhayodaya, which means progress, progress and evolution, as well as Nishreya, meaning supreme blessedness or liberation. The nature of virtue. Virtuous qualities are like the aroma emanating from the mystic flower of the soul. It's spontaneous in saints, in sages, in people of goodwill and kindness. They are intrinsic to one's being. Sinful qualities, on the other hand, are expressions based upon the obstruction of virtuous qualities. Hatred, for example, is the result of an obstruction placed in the way of an expression of an intrinsic value of love. So when love is stopped, it doesn't flow properly, it turns into hate. If the obstruction is removed, human personality will automatically return to its original essential nature of love and kindness. Just as darkness is the result of an obstruction placed before a light source, so too evil qualities are like darkness based upon the absence of knowledge. When spiritual knowledge dawns, evil qualities are removed, even like the dispelling of darkness before the radiant sun. Although, from a limited point of view, one is asked to cultivate a virtue and eradicate a vice, it must be understood that from a higher point of view, all one needs is to discover the positive side of his being. The negative will become extinct. Or, if in some manner the negative is set aside, the positive will spontaneously reveal itself. In other words, one need not impose a positive quality on another's personality. It is latent in the spirit, it will automatically spring forth. So, all we have to do is curb our negative habits, and our genuine positive qualities will emerge out. So, with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will continue the topic of ethics in the light of yoga in tomorrow's satsanga. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.